um, and that you get the most out of tonight. And so I'm glad you're here. And I want you to know that Optavia radically changed my husband and my life about 5.5 years ago. And we have been coaching for a little over 5 years. And this program not only helped us lose weight, yes, but I came from the fitness industry, and I had a massive desire to help people. I just really wanted to help them with a whole health approach. And this is when Optavia came into my life and my husband's life, and we were like, this whole health approach is amazing. I don't know why this program is working so well for us, but the fat is literally melting off our bodies. I don't understand it, but we want to help people with this because the program works when you work it. So there's a confidence factor in that. But also at the same time, let's make sure we got some people muted here. At the same time, as this program was working for us, we wanted to learn, why is it so effective? What's the science behind this fat burn? And how do we coach our clients into this fat burn so that you come into fat burn, stay into fat burn, and learn some habits along the way to help you for a whole health approach. And because of the dramatic impact that this program made on our lives, man, we have been transformed literally from the inside out. And so tonight we are talking about the physical health and the science of our program. And hopefully, as I'm seeing you guys jumping in here, your coach sent you a little reminder, but good for you. Good for you for being here. The community and the input that you put into this is going to just radically change your life the way that it has ours. And hopefully after tonight, maybe some of you that have been like, man, I kind of been stuck for a few days, or you tell your coach like, I do pretty good all week. I'm doing 5 and 1 during the week, and just because the weekend comes and I have a couple little bites, licks, and tastes, we call them BLTs around here, that shouldn't be a reason I'm not seeing the scale move. And so I wanted to take tonight, because Easter weekend is coming, and I don't know if you celebrate Easter, but a lot of times that's when the jelly beans are coming out for the kids, all the candy and the chocolate in the Easter baskets. And I want to educate you, because knowledge is power. And I want to educate you tonight on the power of fat burn and why you want to stay in it and how it works, so that when you are faced with the temptations of the candy, of the Easter chocolates, or even the desserts that happen around that table, that you can take the power back and go, I don't want to ruin my fat burn, so here I go. So, because I came from the fitness industry, I had a lot of clients that were working out really, really hard, but they weren't seeing the results. And when I came into Optavia and I started to see the fat melting off my body, I was feeling really good. I was sleeping really good. I wasn't really having any of those physical cravings. I wasn't working out during my 5 and 1, which was so weird for me, because coming from the fitness industry, that's all I knew. We work out, we try to outrun our fork. And sometimes that's a mentality that a lot of us were raised with, is just eat less, exercise more. But hopefully tonight, I'm going to share with you the power of the science behind our program and why running more will not help you lose the weight with this program. And I see that a lot as questions inside our community page. And again, it's a safe place. Community page is a great place to ask questions. It's another source of information for you. But the truth is a lot of times we go back to kind of the old ways that we used to work, which is, I just got to eat less and put on my shoes and exercise more. But the truth is you were stuck, and you came to Optavia for a reason. And I want you to learn to start to create some healthy habits so that you have success for the long haul, and that you really truly find the health and healing for your body that it's looking for. Okay, so there are a lot of questions about the science of our plan. And like I said, I am a certified coach, and I do know that creating these habits in the first part, which is weight loss phase, creating the habits of how you fuel your body and how we utilize the fuelings and that lean and green meal and how it kind of works. Maybe your coach has mentioned it's a macronutrient plan and you're like, I don't even know what that is. Maybe you hit Google, you're trying to understand. And this is where I say knowledge is power, and I'm dropping it on you guys tonight. So I know that you desire to take the power back in this area of your life, because there are a lot of things that are out of our control. You can get in the car and drive, and even that, you cannot determine what is going to happen with that driver that's next to you. So even that, there's so many things that are out of our control. This is an area like what goes into your body, what you choose to fuel with, and how you choose to make some choices for the long haul. This is taking your power back. And I know so many of you are fighting for that. And I'm really, really here to encourage you to stay the course. It's a health journey, okay? And we're going to talk about at the end, we're going to talk about the power of choices and stop using the dirty word cheat. Okay, so I want you to hang in with me because I'm going to simplify some science for you tonight. And so hang in there with me because I always wanted to be a teacher. So here I go. I didn't want to teach science, but here I go. Let me make sure you guys can see this. Okay. All right. So if you're on the 5-in-1, this is what we call our fat burn plan. Okay. So what it starts with is I have beads here, okay? These are gonna represent a couple different things, and I'm gonna share with you what they represent. But these blue beads, these are what we call free carbs, okay? Your body loves them. It is honestly the first thing that your body wants to burn when it's looking for a source of energy. Okay, this is like, yum, 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 orange juice, bread, like all the things. So your body wants to burn these up first, okay? And on the 5-in-1, so if you're working 5-in-1, this is who I'm talking to tonight. This is the power of fat burn. On 5-in-1, guess what? Your body actually burns through all of these free carbs in one day. On day 1, it gets rid of them, okay? This is the stuff that your body likes, but you're dumping them. Day 1, gone. No more free carbs. Okay? Here's the next thing. These little pink beads, these represent glycogen. Okay? So your body is looking for a source of energy, and you just emptied out on day 1. You emptied out all those free carbs. So your body's like, I gotta burn some energy somewhere. Where is it? We maxed out the Zoom tonight. How about that? Congratulations to those of you that made it in the Zoom. I love that. We will have the recording up for you guys whoever missed it. But these are your stored carbs, okay? So when your body has these, it's got some stored glycogen here. And you can store about 1,600 kilocalories, which are food calories, in its reservoir, okay? Your body stores these. We all have them. And this is what your body taps into on day 2, okay? So day 2, your body is dumping out its reservoir. It's burning through these glycogens, okay? Now, you enter into day 3, and it's like, I need more energy, and there's no more of these free carbs. So again, okay, it's gonna burn through these stored glycogens. Now, most people, it takes about 48 hours to go through all these stored carbs. Your body, it loves the blue. So your body actually on day 1, maybe you're like, yeah, I actually felt okay. But day 2 and 3, man, I had the headache. Man, I just, my body kind of felt achy. Well, you know what? Your body's not gonna feel good on pink, because your body doesn't love them as much as the free carbs, but when we don't have energy, it's gonna burn through these glycogens, okay, which is kind of just burning up these stored sugars. And after day 3, you completely deplete, There's no more glycogen. Okay, so now your body has rid itself of your free carbs and your glycogen. So now what's next? Does anyone know what this is? What do you think this yellow represents? Fat. It's fat. Now, how do we function at our highest and best? My coach told me this when I started. Your fat is like high octane fuel for your body. And we know, because of the price we're paying at the pump these days, my goodness, is gold. That's why it's yellow. That's why I chose yellow beads. It's gold. Your body, when it burns through this fat, it is high octane fuel for your body. It is like, whoo, I got some good energy. Man, fat is great to burn. You're gonna feel good, sustained energy. You're gonna feel good restorative sleep. Some of my clients go, I don't know why I organized that drawer, but I did. And then I went into my closet and I organized, like, what is wrong with me? And I'm like, sounds like fat burn. Fat burn feels amazing. You're gonna know when you're in fat burn because you're not gonna have a whole lot of physical cravings and you're gonna be feeling really, really good. And we tap into this fat storage when these two things are depleted. Our body goes, I need some energy. There's nothing for it to burn here because you're not spiking your insulin. Your insulin pump at this point is shut down. You're giving it a balance of good protein, low glycemic carbohydrates. There's no blood sugar spikes. So there's none of these getting stored. So your body's like, I guess I'll burn these. And I have about 30 of these beads in here. So this represents 30 pounds of fat, which is what the average American has to lose, right? So you get into day 4 and you're like, yeah, glycogen holds some water weight. So those first 3 days, you're kind of dumping some of that water weight and you're tapping into fat. And now you're like, whew, 2 pounds of fat this week. That's awesome. I love it. I feel so good. So this is for somebody that needs to lose 30 pounds. Guess what this represents? It takes 3,500 food calories to burn 1 pound of fat. This is why we cannot outrun our fork, my friends. This is why all the people that were working out with me, they were probably eating good things, fruits, good things like that. But your body's gonna burn through those things before it ever can tap into your fat storage. And this is the power of our nutrition plan. Is you don't have to outrun your fork and try to burn up 94,500 calories to be burned up before you can even tap into your fat storage. Okay, this is why, please stop trying to outrun your fork. Okay, you have to stay consistent on plan. This means no bites, licks, and tastes. Okay, you just have to stay consistent and your body's gonna burn up that first week, maybe 3-5 pounds of fat. Second week, you're staying consistent because you're like, I'm feeling so good. This fat is melting off of me. I feel those inches. My clothes are fitting different. Oh my gosh, I'm feeling so good. Now, you're never going to deplete all of the fat that's in your body because guess what? Your brain is actually made up of 60% fat. I don't know if you knew that. A little science knowledge for you. Your body needs some fat, so we're not going to burn all of it. So what it requires for you is to stay really consistent until you get to your healthy weight. Okay, so as long as you stay on the program, you're eating 5 fuelings, you're making that 1 lean and green, you're measuring things out, you're like, I'm a rock star. You're drinking all your water. By the way, you have got to drink a minimum of 64 ounces. Do you know the only way that you can actually flush the fat out of your body? It's burning it. The only way to flush it out is through your pee. Yes, so you got to keep drinking water so that you can flush that fat out of your body. So, as long as you stay on the program, you're going to burn these bad boys, and that's what feels really good. Okay, now what are these? This is actually protein. This is beautiful. We actually don't want to tap into our protein supply. Okay, the only time that we tap in to our protein supply is in like an emergency situation. Okay, so a traditional diet that's not using a fat burn, but it's more of like a calorie deficit, you oftentimes tap into your protein. And that's why this is not a calorie counting program. Thank goodness we don't have to count our points. Thank goodness that we don't have to worry about that. A lot of times you can over-exercise, not fuel well. A lot of times it's like, well, if I just cut my calories and I work out a lot of times you're gonna actually tap into this. You're gonna tap into your protein, and we have to protect this, okay? So we like to fuel the green, right? So every fueling that you have has a high amount of lean protein. When you eat your food, your lean and green, it's a high protein, right? So we're fueling this. We have to protect this, okay? So ultimately, you stay steady and you just continue to lose the fat. So as a coach, hopefully your coach is not coaching you like the food police. They're not running up to you and smacking things out of your hand when they see you. So I'm a football mom. And I had a lot of clients that jumped on program with me that were also football moms. So on Friday Night Lights, I would see some of my clients mosey on over, get their chips, get their nachos, come back trying to hide it from me. I'm like, hey, I'm not the food police. There is no shame. Okay? You know what you need to do. So I am not going to shit on you. I am not your mom. I am just a guide to help you really truly get what you want. And what that is hopefully for all of you, this isn't just another diet that you're doing. Hopefully you are in the pursuit of truly wanting health for your life, okay? That it's not just about losing weight, but that you really are like, man, I feel good. And you're creating habits that are really gonna last you for the long haul. So here's where Easter weekend can come in. And this is why I wanted to do this before we hit up Easter weekend, because I really want this in the back of your mind. Again, not shooting on you, but if you have serious health goals, I want you to know that bouncing in and out of fat burn every weekend is really hard on your body. Okay, so it's very important that you, if you're in a weight loss phase, that you choose to stay in structure. Okay, because here's what that looks like. You're at Easter dinner. It's like, oh my gosh, maybe if I just have just a tiny little spoonful of potato salad. Okay, oh, those blues are back. You know what, I think it would be okay if I'm just gonna have a bite. I'm just gonna have a bite of the cake. That shouldn't hurt me. I mean, come on, I'm barely eating 1,000 calories right now. I'm fine. So oh, you know what? I actually really, okay, I'm gonna have that glass of wine. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have another glass of wine. Okay, so what do we have now? They're back. Uh-oh. So if these are back, guess what happens? These are back too. They're coming back, okay? And your body goes, yay! Free carbs! Wine, sugar, give me all that sugar. And it's like, oh my gosh, okay, I'm gonna store I'm gonna store up a little bit of that. So yay, I have those back. And even you're gonna get a little bit of that rush, because there actually is a dopamine rush that comes when you're allowing your body into that. And you're like, okay, well, I mean, this is what I got. So your body's going, okay, she gave me that wine, she gave me that piece of cake, okay, a little 100 calories here, 100 calories here, and your body's like, okay, I'm gonna store up some of that, because she consumed well over 1,600 calories in that pink puffy, okay? So we even go sometimes to SAD. Dr. Anderson actually talks about it in the Habits of Health. And yes, I've got a mess of notes because these are the things that I stick out to me in the journey. But Dr. Anderson actually talks about in the Habits of Health, he talks about the fact that it's not our fault. It's actually the first chapter. It's called, It's Not Your Fault That You Are Struggling. Talk about thank you, doctor, because I feel what is wrong with me? And I don't know if you have ever been in a weight loss phase or done a different diet and you're like, what is my problem? I can't stop saying no to the wine on the weekends. And then I feel really crappy. And then I can't get this weight off. I thought I'm supposed to be able to burn fat on this plan. You are. You keep adding these back to your day, right? And so Dr. Anderson talks about that because goodness, restaurant portions are 8 times bigger than they used to be. Do you believe that? 8 times bigger than they used to be. And he said one steakhouse chain takes a 70-calorie root vegetable, an onion, full of vitamin C, antioxidant, healthy phenols, and transform it into a 2,400-calorie, 134-gram fat fest called the bloomin' onion. And all of that before you've even had your entree. Okay, so it's amazing. If you don't have these, talk to your coach about how to get this, because this is the other side of our nutrition plan. This is how we can get into our habits, okay? However, it is so important as you remember that you're like, okay, so I screwed up over the weekend. I screwed up. And in the past, maybe you would have just thrown in the towel for the entire week and gone, you know what, I screwed up last weekend. I have something else coming up. Never mind. And you quit. You quit before you actually were able to get to your goal weight. And I don't want that for any one of you. Okay, so here's what we need to do. We need to focus on the fact that when you're in fat burn, man, your body can't get there when it has these. So those bites, licks, and tastes, yeah, they actually matter. So I've had clients that are like, I haven't lost in 2 weeks, Lindsay. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I literally am eating 5 of those fuelings. I'm measuring my lean and green, and I'm like, really? There hasn't been anything else? Like no extra, like no alcohol, because alcohol turns into sugar when it metabolizes. So guess what? It's turning into these. Even if you make a better decision, you don't see alcohol in the guide. So some of you are actually destroying your beautiful fat burning process because you're spiking some insulin here and you're storing these, and you're just constantly back to burning these, and you're like, I don't feel good. My coach said I should feel amazing, and I don't feel good because you keep adding in these. And then that's all your body is burning up, is those free carbs and those glycogens, and it's never actually burning this goodness. Okay, so you want to stay in a good, solid fat burn. Okay, the goal is to actually end this yo-yo cycle, because the yo-yo cycle, anyone else been there? Ending that yo-yo cycle for me was 100% hands down such a relief. I felt so free. And another area that I felt free was when I took the power back and I stopped living in a shame, and I started realizing cheating versus choices. Okay, cheating takes you out of fat burn. Okay, but shifting your thought on nutrition is not about deprivation. So don't go punish your body like, okay, well then I'm just gonna starve for a couple days until my body can just like rid itself of all of that. Like, no, just jump back on plan. And guess what? One day, back on plan. Okay, day 2 and 3. And maybe you don't even have as much as you did the first time. So maybe it doesn't even take you a full 4 days to get back into fat burn. And then guess what? Your body's back to burning the fat, okay? This is the beauty of you taking the power back in your own health, is deciding, is it worth it? Is it worth it? So when you are sitting around at the Easter table, or you are like kind of stacking up some jelly beans, you know, you're like, one's not gonna hurt me. I actually do want you to think about that one bite, which then will store up some of these. And then it's like, oh man, I gotta go back. I gotta burn it again. And all the while, you're keeping that yo-yo going. And all the while, this is just waiting here as like the gold that your body wants to burn. Okay, so there's 7 reasons that you shouldn't cheat. Okay, there's 7 reasons to end that yo-yo. Okay, 1, you're gonna get the results that your coach promised you. So there's number 1. Every time I do a health assessment with somebody and I ask them what their goals are and we start going through, and I tell them, you can expect 2 to 5 pounds of weight loss, because that's actually what we can claim. 2 to 5 pounds each week in the first 3 weeks is to be expected, and 1 to 3 pounds a week after that, that's a healthy fat burn. Some of us just get so impatient, we never tap into this because we keep adding these, and then you go, that plan didn't work for me. I just felt hungry all the time. Yeah, because you were doing Chick-fil-A sauces and you were adding in like a little barbecue sauce, like, oh, barbecue sauce won't hurt me. Yeah, actually, if it's not in the guide, it doesn't go in your mouth. That's on purpose, because you're actually getting fueled with the right macronutrients to allow your body to shut down that insulin pump so you can burn off all of this so that you're really burning up the goodness, okay? You have to be in fat burn to have this plan actually be effective for you. And like I said earlier, it's unhealthy to go in and out of fat burn. It stresses out your body. So some of you have had a really hard time staying the course on the weekend. I get it. Trust me, we're all human beings, okay? Health coaches still have to choose and make choices. So I'm living in a maintenance mode. So you're like, does the wine ever come back? Yes, guess what? Because I'm still living with the fat that's on my body, because 60% of my brain is fat. And so, yeah, I actually have these in my everyday life. And so is exercise important in maintenance? Yeah, absolutely it is. So when I choose to have the wine at my dinner with my husband, I'm on a date night and I'm having the wine, I'm having some of these. And so yeah, when I exercise, I'm burning through some of these, but I don't actually need to tap into my fat storage anymore because I'm actually carrying the right appropriate amount of fat for my body. Okay, so on and off again behavior, you guys, it doesn't help you to learn healthy habits. It will keep you in that yo-yo cycle for the rest of your life, which will weaken your power, and then it leads to a life of binging. I don't know if anyone has ever struggled with that. And the thing about alcohol is it drops your defenses and it fills you up. It does cause a little bit of this spike to happen, and it also lowers your inhibition. So drinking will also cause you to make some choices that even if you're doing a vodka soda, you're like, oh, maybe you are a cheap date now that you're in fat burn and you got a little buzz and you're like, I can't resist that chips and guac, that's calling my name. Now I'm ordering a margarita, right? So just remember, as it relates to this weekend, because it's a holiday weekend, if you observe it, we know there's a different meaning for me in what that represents because of my faith. But there are food. There's a party at our dinner table in our family, and it really requires that choose. Like, what am I going to choose? I don't want you walking through the weekend blinded. Okay? I really wanted to educate you guys so you would be like, I don't want blue beads. I don't want pink beads. I'm actually going to bring my brownie with me so that if I'm craving something chocolate, or man, that chocolate mint bar or the s'mores bar, something sweet, to have you avoid adding these in, because it's going to take you 3 days of hunger and tired and fatigue until you can tap back into this. Okay? And the last thing I'm going to say is, if you find yourself in this constant state of in and out of fat burn, if you're like, man, I've been doing this plan for 5 months and I am not at my goal, good for you that you haven't actually thrown in the towel. You have some grit. But 2, maybe it's time to talk to your coach about a different nutrition option until you are in that right mindset and truly ready, because it's better to have your head straight than for you to be in a constant yo-yo and a constant, like, I really want to just burn that fat, but right? You've got some habits to work on, and maybe it's just time that you order yourself the life book and the habits of health so that you can start to wrap your mind and educate yourself. But at the end of the day, you guys, this plan is just set up for you to win. It is set up Thank goodness we don't have to count points. Thank goodness we don't have to count or track our calories. All we have to do is look in and go, I'm just eating these 5 fuelings today. I'm drinking my water. Burn, fat, burn. That is the quickest way to your healthy, happy weight. And along the way, you are going to learn so much about the choices that you're making, because I have never gone back to my before. Never. And that's because the habits that I learned along the way and the healthy that I'm craving for the long haul, I want to be around for my grandkids, and I want to be able to play and roll all over the place. And I know I'm a few years out from that. Hopefully. I do have a son in college, so it might become, no, it's not coming sooner. He doesn't even have a girlfriend. But I want to be so energized for so long, because this life is beautiful and I want to live it well. And I hope that you guys are all in the same place. Clearly you're here. You wanted to educate yourself. I'm so glad that you came on this call tonight. And hopefully that helped you learn a little bit about why our program works, and the choices that you make really do matter as it results to your final results of getting that awesome fat burn. Okay, so stay in fat burn and you can do this. All right, thank you everyone for being on tonight, and have a really great rest of your evening. Bye.